Oh my, 1971 is impossible. One of the greatest years of prog rock. How will I do this? You're about to find out. Are you ready? All right, let's dive in. Number 12. Okay, so actually, number 12 is not a prog rock song after all that build up, but it couldn't all be prog, right? I mean, well, yeah, it could, but it wouldn't be fair to me. So I have got to have one of those heartfelt tunes, right? So if 1970s was The Boxer, then 1971 is Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Uh, CCR. The Boxer was the song that reminded me of my mother, and this one reminds me of my dad. So Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Pendulum. So some songs don't really need complexity to achieve greatness. And I think Have You Ever Seen the Rain is built on a simple chord progression. And just like a lot of Fogerty's art, it's a very memorable melody and that unmistakable rock and roll voice. Credence seems like it's so timeless, yet it it's still caught in that moment in time. It's just strange. I don't know the lyrics. A lot of his lyrics are interpreted politically, but I always just heard something more universal. Life has a way of bringing sunshine and storms, and sometimes at the same time. And moments of success can be mixed with heartbreak, and that's why this song continues to resonate. Generation after generation. So Credence is not going to give you some technical wizardry or anything like that, um, but they mastered the art of writing songs that become part of people's lives. And this is one of those songs that somehow sounds just as good coming through an old AM radio as it does blasting through a modern stereo system. So, coming in at number 11 is going to be the theme from Shaft by Isaac Hayes, from that same album. There's cool songs, and then there's the theme from Shaft. that hi hat, the opening hi hat, got to be one of the most recognizable moments in music history, I think. Um, and Isaac Hayes already established himself at that point, I feel like, but everything about this record is just it just oozes confidence. You got that wah wah guitar and that driving bass and those punchy horns. I just love that sound, and it all fits perfectly together. Hayes wasn't just writing a movie theme; he was like writing a theme for your soul. That funky sound. So I just totally admired how sophisticated it all sounds. It doesn't sound really cluttered or anything. Every instrument's in its own place, and it fits right into the groove. And I believe it's like one of the greatest examples of music swagger that was ever recorded. So coming in at number 10 will be A Plague of Lighthouse Keepers, Pawnhart's Vander Graaf Generator. This is not simply a song, really. This is sort of like an emotional breakdown set to music. It's like 24 minutes. Uh, a Plague of Lighthouse Keepers sort of abandons the conventional songwriting rule, and it almost unfolds like a novel. And Peter Hamill, he's not my favorite singer in the world, but his voice is so perfect for this song. And he just makes you feel every ounce of what he's feeling, isolation or hope or whatever it is he's feeling at the moment. You feel that. The music, of course, is extraordinary because that's what Van der Graaf Generator does. And progressive rock in general, the constant shifts in mood, they keep the listener completely engaged. Um, Even when you have no idea what's going on or where it's about to go. So This song is just a great piece of art to me. It demands your full attention, and I feel like it is I actually feel like it's Van de Graaff Generator's best song. It's my favorite song from them. Speaking of another progressive rock band, Pentagral's Nativity, Acquiring the Taste, Gentle Giant. If there is one band that consistently blows my mind, it is Gentle Giant. They were, they are associated with prog rock in excess. It's like the way they approach anything. They have these medieval influences. They have like these jazz influences, classical influences, and somehow it all coexists in a single composition here. And this song, I think, is one of their greatest achievements. You've got the vocal harmonies, you've got the intricate sort of acoustic sound. You got that haunting keyboard textures. It's just everything here serves the atmosphere of that song. And what's always impressed me about Gentle Giant is the discipline that they have. These were one of the most technically gifted bands of their era, and it it's like every complicated rhythm, every chord, every transition or whatever, it just makes the music richer. It just is so good. Um, Number 8 is going to be Yours Is No Disgrace by Yes from the Yes album. I absolutely love Yes. And this is really the song that got me into Yes as a progressive rock band. Yours Is No Disgrace just comes in straightforward. Uh, I associate it with classic Yes as much as I do any other song. You've got Steve Howe's guitar work, Chris Squire's bass, Bill Bruford, Tony Kaye is on the Hammond organ here, and then of course you got John Anderson and his voice, the voice of Yes. I feel like what really amazes me is how effortlessly, that the song sort of moves through. It's like yeah, I find it as one of the most exhilarating instrumental pieces of music before the lyrics are even being sung. I love it. I know they said it based on Bonanza, the TV show Bonanza, but this is progressive rock, man, announcing itself. 1971, the musicianship is breathtaking here. Um, you've got 5 musicians that are just constantly pushing the song, pushing each other. When people ask me where the classic Yes sound truly begins, I say here. Number 7, The Musical Box, Nursery Crime by Genesis. I struggled to appreciate Genesis for a long time, and Peter Gabriel's approach sometimes sort of distracted me from just how extraordinary the music actually was. I stopped focusing on those silly costumes and started listening really to what the band was doing underneath. And the musical box changed my perspective. This isn't a prog rock song. This is a story. It's strange. It's mysterious. It's unsettling. It's, again, can you imagine listening to this in 1971? And Tony Banks' Mellotron creates like this atmosphere that feels ancient and like haunting. And then you got Steve Hackett, he's building it up, and Phil Collins, already a remarkable musician right then. It was just an amazing, and this song really says something. I mean, what makes it really unforgettable to me is the ending of it. And I feel like Peter Gabriel, again, I said I struggle with him, but I gotta give it to him in this one. This was really great. Um, the whole song just, it really won me over for Genesis. So, Musical Box. Coming in at number 6 is Heart of the Sunrise, Fragile, from Yes. If yours is no disgrace, introduce the world to the real Yes. Heart of the Sunrise just kicked the door in. I mean, this opening alone is just unbelievable. I mean, you got Chris Squire and Bill Bruford attacking that rhythm with just, I mean, it's just incredible. And the arrangement, I mean, can you imagine how tight that band was to be able to do that? That was just like technical brilliance. But it's surprisingly emotional. And why would it not be? Because John Anderson is right in there and he brings that warmth and he brings that humanity, you know, to this overwhelmingly complex composition, and I feel like no matter how intricate the arrangement becomes, they never lose sight of that, never lose sight of that melody or that humanity, so to speak. It's not cold, but it's aggressive and it's beautiful and it's mathematical and it's, emotional and disciplined, but yet, it feels like every member performs at this level and yet no one overshadows anybody else. So, Yes is just like these five musicians functioning as a single creative organism in some way. I just love it. Number 5 is Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin 4 by Led Zeppelin. Okay, look, I know you guys, some of you are going to be like, oh, you're kidding me. Not Stairway to Heaven, any song but Stairway to Heaven. But come on. I mean, this is really one of the greatest songs of all time. I know people joke about it. Radio stations are sick of it. But, every now and then I sit down and I just listen to this again. And I'm reminded why it became legendary in the first place. And Jimmy Page constructs this song, and it begins with this quiet acoustic meditation, and then it just builds and builds and builds and builds to this climax. This is one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. I'm telling you, I absolutely love this guitar solo. I love the build up in this song. I love Robert Plant's voice. I got to speak with Robert Plant for about 20 minutes back in 2021 and at an airport. We didn't discuss this song. We discussed Physical Graffiti, but and Pink Floyd for some reason. But this song is really a brilliant song. And I mean, I know it's been run into the ground, but to me, I mean, Stairway to Heaven is just, it just continues to me to reveal itself after 50 years that it's clearly one of the greatest masterpieces of rock and roll. Coming in at number 4 is Tarkus, from the album Tarkus by Emerson Lake and Palmer. Okay, I know people say that progressive rock is self-indulgent, and when I hear that criticism, I immediately think of Tarkus. 20 minutes long, and it's so technically demanding. It's just, um, I don't know. I know this is not something that most people would not appreciate this song, but I appreciate it. I love it. Keith Emerson spends 20 minutes reminding the world that the organ is one of the greatest rock instruments of all time. And he, I mean, I love Rick Wakeman. I love all these guys, but Keith is just explosive. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's like a lead guitarist on the keyboard. And, you know, despite all of that virtuosity of the band, that music is just, it's so engaging. And people, come on, Greg Lake. I mean, he is the emotional anchor of that band. I mean, his voice is just an instrument in and of itself. Just, he is probably one of the greatest prog singers I've ever heard. And then you've got Carl Palmer and that drumming performance. And I mean, I know these guys take a lot of flack, but I just love Tarkus. And what I love most about it, it just feels like this is what prog is. So, it feels like you're simply being assaulted by this music, but it's awesome. So I think it's one of the defining achievements of prog, really do. And for my money, I think it's one of the greatest sidelong compositions ever put to vinyl. So number 3 is South Side of the Sky, Fragile by Yes again. So Yes makes a list again. If somebody asks me again, which Yes song combines beauty and power the best, I'm going to say South Side of the Sky. You got the opening piano, the acoustic guitar. You got the relentless bass lines. You got Bill Bruford. I mean, again, I can just keep naming these guys over and over and over, but there's not a wasted note anywhere here. And this song just shifts between moments of tenderness and delicacy to just absolute force, and it's one of the darker sounding Yes songs as well. It's just an incredible piece of music. And I feel like South Side of the Sky is one of the more underrated songs from Yes. Um, I've always thought this song deserves to be mentioned alongside Roundabout and Close to the Edge, but it don't seem to receive that same attention. And for me, it is the perfect representation of what made Yes incredible and unique, and it's just unforgettable. It really is. It's almost like every time I hear it, I'm reminded why Fragile is one of the greatest prog rock albums ever made. So number 2 is Riders on the Storm, LA Woman by the Doors. Okay. Not prog necessarily, but this Riders on the Storm is probably the best rock recording that I believe that's ever been that has captured a mood perfectly. Before Jim Morrison even mumbles a single word, that guitar and that little tinkling piano, and you got the thunder and you got the atmosphere and the rain, and it's just, I mean, Morrison doesn't have to yell or scream or anything like that. It's almost as if he's whispering it, and it's just so hypnotic. Um, and I'm telling you, I'm a fanboy uh, of the organ. I just love it so much. So, Manzarek just, I'm there. Um, and also knowing that this was one of the final recordings that Jim Morrison made, I think it adds more emotional weight. There's a haunting quality that I can't even explain really. Um, they really captured something with this song, and it is just, again, I said it's the greatest mood piece in rock. It might be the greatest. It's definitely one of the greatest. But I just love the Doors and I love it. Number 1 is Echoes, Metal by Pink Floyd. If I had to choose a song that explains why I fell in love with prog rock, it's going to be Echoes. And I don't want to hear that whole thing. Oh, Pink Floyd's not prog rock. I've got a video already addressing that nonsense. This is a film without pictures. I mean, this is loneliness, mystery, beauty, fear, hope, transcendence. This is, every time I listen to it, I'm reminded that music doesn't have to follow formulas. All this stuff just brings to mind things when I hear all these songs. That ping, ping, ping. I mean, from the single note, Pink Floyd begins constructing this immersive musical experience. This is a journey. This is a voyage. And David Gilmour, that beautiful guitar, the way, I mean, everything is just so good. The combination of David and Rick's vocals, the harmonies, it's like every member contributes exactly what this song needs. And then you get that middle section. And I heard people describe it as whales, or, some sort of nightmarish outer space thing, or the ocean or whatever. But to me, it's just, it's simply unknown. I don't know. I mean, Pink Floyd, um, you just gotta you just got to let it go and listen. I mean, this is like one of those albums that I just lay on the floor and listen to, metal, and especially when it gets to echo and or echoes, and it's just part of that experience. And I think that that's one of the reasons echoes continues to fascinate everybody. Um, so I don't know. I love the ending. The ending is, breaking through the clouds. It's just so wonderful. Very few compositions ever have that moment. People often point to Dark Side of the Moon as the moment Pink Floyd became Pink Floyd, but for me, it's Echoes. Echoes is the true turning point. It's what started the band on that path, where Dark Side sort of refined it. Echoes was where it started, I believe. It really is the one of the greatest achievements to me, and my favorite song in 1971. So 1970 opened the door to prog rock. 71 kicked it completely off the hinges. This wasn't just a great year for music, it was maybe one of the greatest years in music history. So it was very hard to rank 1971, but there you go. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think about what are your favorite songs. It's all about engagement. It's all about um, this community that we have together. But until next time, you guys take care.